Hey friends, fellow music lovers, vinyl community, welcome to episode 99 of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I talk about new albums brought into the collection, new purchased albums, and let you know a bit about each one, let you know whether there's something I think I'm going to be keeping in the collection or something that's going to be going away. Just a real quick programming note here. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but in the past few weeks I have not made any videos. The videos are going to be kind of few and far between for the next month or so. My fiance and I are in the process of buying a house, so we're going through all the hassle and stress and extra work that's required in that. If any of you have ever bought a house in the past, you'll know what that's all about. Lots of stuff to do, so not a lot of time to make videos, plus packing. If you see down here, you see the inbox area of those shelves back there has started to empty out, along with some other areas around here. I've started to pack up. I packed up about 700 records this past weekend, and I have a lot more to pack up. But yeah, closing is coming in a few weeks now. Hopefully everything works out. I'm excited about the new place, and so yeah, sorry it's gonna be a little while before get back to regular videos, but I'll try to get a few in here in the next 6 to 8 weeks before we get settled in the new place. So thanks for staying tuned, and I'm not going anywhere. Just stay tuned, stay subscribed, and you never know when you might get a new video. So as usual, this is another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I do have a Spotify playlist for this episode 99. So if you want to hear any of these albums for yourself and you do use Spotify, there's a playlist with all the albums I could find there. Most of those are on there here, so that'll sort of give you an easy way to sample some of this music and get an idea whether it's something you would like yourself or not. So before I ramble on any longer, let's go ahead and get into this. First album I have here is an album from Deodato. This is titled Love Island from 1978, I believe. Yeah, 1978. Of course, Deodato was originally a CTI jazz musician. This album just didn't do it for me. I've loved some of the earlier Deodato stuff, but this album, being in '78, it just sort of, Deodato's music in general can be really close to the edge of just sort of diving off a cliff into cheeseball, not so good stuff. This one definitely dove over the cliff. It almost elevator music-y, kind of disco-y, stringy. It was disappointing for me. Gatefold there. I really like the artwork on this. I was kind of hopeful I would like this one, but unfortunately, I can't recommend it. It's like I said, it dives over the cliff for me. It's into the cheesy territory. This is on the Palm Warner Brothers label that I don't like because it's really difficult to read things on it. So yeah, Deodato's Love Island from 1978, just way too cheesy for me. Not going to be keeping in the collection. I do love Deodato, like a lot of Deodato's music, but not something I have to have the discography of. So this one is not staying in the collection. All right, next thing we have to talk about is the as of this recording, the most recent release from Dereck Higgins. This is his album Murphy, released late last year, I believe. Just some more of his ambient type sound work. Really enjoyable stuff here. There is a piano piece on here, which is really cool. I believe it's the Philip Glass. Really cool piece of music. Just another really good album from Dereck of his ambient music. I really enjoy this stuff. He did sign it for me there. It's kind of hard to see. Pressed on a cool blue and green vinyl pressing, pressed at Pirates Press. Unfortunately, the blue vinyl, you can actually, if you look through it, you can actually see a lot of little speckles in the blue vinyl, and it's some sort of dirt in there, and it's the blue, when the needle passes over the blue side on this, it's kind of noisy, so that's unfortunate. But just great music. I enjoy putting this stuff on and just sitting back and taking a trip, and it's really good, enjoyable music. I did pre-order this album, so he included a copy of the Encounter magazine that he was featured in, so that was really cool, really enjoyable to read the article about him in there. And I'm going to keep this with the album itself, and then also the Love mural that he took part in creating in Omaha there at the Bemis, or I don't know if it's at the Bemis. It's at the Carver Bank, so I think that's where the Bemis is at. That was cool. So yeah, some more great ambient music from Dereck, and you know, it's instrumental ambient music. It can be tough. A lot of people don't like this kind of thing, but for me, it's enjoyable and it's fun, and I like to listen to it. So check that out. There are a few tracks of this on Spotify, so you can get a little bit of an idea of what it's like. The whole album is not there, but I did include the 2 tracks from here that are on there. Okay, the next thing I have to talk about is actually some VCLT from Paul Baraka P. Dub, which at the time didn't make videos, but has since begun making videos, has an amazing channel. I will put a link in the show notes below to his channel. Just an awesome collection of jazz and electronic and just all kinds of music. Has really great taste in music, really knowledgeable, really does a great job at working on his channel and exposing all of us to some great music. So this is a piece he sent me late last year, I believe. This is from Bonobo. This is the North Borders Tour Live, and this was their live album released in 2014 on Ninja Tune. Bonobo are kind of an interesting group. They do a lot of different genres and blending a lot of different genres. I've said it in the past, when I hear this kind of music, it definitely gives me sort of a California vibe, when they're almost like a jam band, but it's not a rock and roll jam band. They're mixing electronic and R&B and soul and some rock, and just having a good time. It's a really fun. I'm sure seeing these guys live would be a lot of fun. Definitely get a great vibe from this live piece. And I'd been kind of curious about Bonobo before Paul sent this to me, and I'm glad he sent this to me. It was really enjoyable. Really have been enjoying spending this the past few months and getting into it. As I said, awesome music. Hits on a lot of different genres. Very varied and very, you know, if you watch my channel, you know I like a lot of different genres and a lot of different types of music. So when I can find something that really mashes a lot of different styles and genres together, it's something I love. So Bonobo, the North Borders Tour Live, I can definitely recommend this 2 LP set. It's on black vinyl there, pressed in the UK somewhere. I'm not sure where this was pressed. I didn't have the chance to look that up for you, but it sounds great, and a nice pressing job there. And like I said, love the music here. Really enjoyed a lot. So that's the Bonobo North Borders Tour Live. Thank you again very much, Paul, for sending this to me. Thank you, and definitely a prized piece in my collection, and I enjoy it. Next up is another of the wonderful pieces Paul sent to me. Something a little bit different. Definitely something that fits his style really well now that I've had a chance to watch his videos for a while, and I can really see where he would like this quite a bit. This is Nightmares on Wax-Carboot Soul from 1999. This is a reissue on Warp. Not sure when this was reissued. I think it said a 10-year anniversary reissue on the shrink wrap. But really cool. This is sort of a down-tempo soul jazz kind of thing. That's what it sounds like as a description. It's pretty good. It's soulful, it's jazzy, it's very groovy. You know, if you walked into a coffee shop in New York City somewhere, you might hear something like this. Very groovy, very soulful, very jazzy. Really enjoyable stuff. Works really well to sort of relax and chill out and just enjoy yourself. It does have a bit of a hip hop vibe to it. Definitely hear some hip hop elements coming in here. Cool gatefold, really nice photo there. As I said, this is on Warp Records, black vinyl, 2 LP set. I believe this one was probably pressed in the UK as well, being on Warp Records. Most of their stuff is. sounds really good, sounds excellent, and an excellent reissue of this this sort of soul jazz album here. So I have some printed inner sleeves with liner notes on it. So yeah, really another cool addition to my collection from Paul, and I really appreciate this. Something I wouldn't have bought for myself, but something I really enjoy, really love, and thank you for sending these to me and exposing me to some awesome music that I wouldn't have found on my own, probably. So that's Nightmares on Wax-Carboot Soul from 1999. Definitely recommend it if you like hip-hop, if you like jazz, if you like a groovy, soulful, funky kind of sound. Some good, really good music. There's a bit of a sampling kind of vibe going on here also, if you're into like DJ Shadow and stuff like that. Give this one a try. Really highly recommended. So thank you again, Paul. Alright, moving on to a couple of Christmas albums. I actually was listening to these around Christmas and just now getting to talking about them in the Vinyl Survivor series. The first thing we have here is the Christmas album from Bright Eyes, and it's called A Christmas Album. Somewhere around 2009, I think, somewhere around that area. Bright Eyes are an indie rock band from Omaha, Nebraska. If you haven't heard of them before, really cool band, a band I like. I do have some other pieces by Bright Eyes, and I heard great things about this Christmas album. And I would have to say it delivered. This is an awesome album. It sort of has sort of a blurb here from the New York Times on this little fold-over sort of strip on here. The saddest, sweetest holiday recording you'll hear all season. And yeah, it definitely is that. It's sad, it's sweet, it's very melancholic, but beautiful in a way. Really great Christmas music here. There are some traditional Christmas, songs on here. It's pretty much all traditional stuff, but it's not the normal way you would hear them. Just wonderful, wonderful Christmas music. I can't recommend this enough. If you're the type of person that doesn't like Christmas music in general, give this one a try. Give this a try. It's different. It's different enough. I think anybody could enjoy it. It's not that overly sweetened sort of Christmas cheerful kind of music. It's very, as I said, it's very melancholic. It's very beautiful. It's very rich. It just gives you a certain warmth, I guess you could say. Awesome album. Glad I picked this up. I picked this up at Urban Outfitters in Orlando last year. This is on a Snow White vinyl. Sounds amazing on vinyl. A very sparse set of liner notes here. It's kind of blown out there, but yeah, not much there. But as I said, a beautiful Christmas album. And if you're the type of person that's normally turned off by Christmas music but would like to have something to play, I would recommend this a lot. Very excellent Christmas album. Glad to add that one to my Christmas music. Alright, next we have another piece of Christmas music that's not the typical Christmas music you hear. This was a Black Friday record store day release this past year in 2014 for Black Friday. This is from the Flaming Lips. This is their Imagine Peace, Alas It's Christmas. They sort of have this fictional story of this Iraqi musician that sort of recorded this Christmas album and was lost to the ages. Really interesting, beautiful. It's beautiful yet weird and strange, and you get these tinges of sort of modern psych effects and sounds coming through that you're used to hearing from the Flaming Lips, but yet it also has this sort of beautiful, very, very soft and rich, beautiful kind of music. So this was another great Christmas piece to add to my collection this year. Really enjoyed it quite a bit. Glad I picked it up. It was only $15, which was good for a record store day release. As you know, they tend to be pretty high. Also pressed on a beautiful translucent red vinyl. They did put some artificial crackle on here. which I guess supposedly adds to the ambiance and the story that goes along with it. So it's kind of weird. I know some people didn't necessarily like that, but yeah, just a cool Christmas piece from the Flaming Lips, and I'm glad I added that to the collection, and happy to have this in my Christmas music collection when I want to hear something that's Christmassy, but not necessarily, traditional Christmas music. Something that's a little bit different, something that'll be enjoyable to anyone, even if they don't like Christmas music. Check that one out. Alright, next up, moving on out of the Christmas genre, we're moving into a blues rock group. This is the Delta 72 with their album The R&B of Membership from 1996. This is a piece I found at Goodwill, I believe. I found it at a thrift store somewhere, I know that. Kind of a surprise to me. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. As I said, I found it at Goodwill, so it's 50 cents. I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a try. And found out I really did love this a lot. It has almost a John Spencer blues explosion kind of vibe to it. It's sort of that mid-90s blues rock freak out kind of sound. So if you like John Spencer, check these guys out. This was a really cool find. I wasn't sure what I was getting into on this, and I ended up just loving this album to death. Awesome piece here. As I said, 1996. This is on Touch and Go Records out of Chicago. Nice blue and silvery label there. Kind of a very vintage looking label, but just a really cool band. As I said, if you like that sort of John Spencer blues explosion kind of sound. Okay, moving on to a movie score from a few years back, something I'm very happy to have in my collection now. One of my favorite scores of all time. This is the score to the Disney Tron movie that was redone about 4 or 5 years ago now, the soundtrack was done by Daft Punk, of course. Very, very cool soundtrack piece. Fits the feel of the movie, the world that you're put into in that movie. The music just fits it so well. I was just blown away by how the Tron movie remake. I was really blown away by the artistic styling, the feel of the world. Very, very cool. Very felt like you were sort of inside the computer, and it just had this sort of feel to it that was just amazing, and the music played a big role in that, along with the set design and everything. And I really loved just being in that world for a while. The movie itself wasn't amazing, but the world was amazing, and the music had a big part of that. And I really loved this soundtrack that Daft Punk did for the movie. They did a really excellent job, and it's really awesome to be able to have this on vinyl. It's kind of weird. I thought it was a reissue because this was issued in the UK, very limited. When it was originally reissued, it was available as an import here in the States for around $50, and at the time I wasn't willing to pay $50 for it. Later I wished I had. Sort of climbed up to the $300, $400, $500 range, and then all of a sudden somebody pointed out to me that this was available on a Disney website. I think it was $45 or $50, and it was still that sort of same import price. But at the time, when it was selling elsewhere for hundreds of dollars, picking this up for $50 was pretty awesome, and I'm glad I did. There's Daft Punk there, sort of. In the Tron world. Really cool release, numbered release. This is 2013 out of 9072. So I guess they made quite a few of these, but for some reason it was not easy to find. Just some black vinyl pressings, 180 gram. Nice liner notes there, and there's a download code on here that I'll cover up. But yeah, just an awesome soundtrack. The soundtrack added a great bit of uniqueness to the movie. Really enjoyed hearing this and experiencing this movie and getting into the world of Tron through this music. So glad to have this in the collection. And this also does feature some bonus songs on the side 4. that weren't on the CD soundtrack, so that was really cool to be able to hear the bonus tracks. I believe a few of them are actually vinyl only bonus tracks, so this is the only way you could hear them. Alright, moving on to some jazz here. We got another CTI piece here. This is the album from Hubert Laws titled In the Beginning from 1974. Hubert Laws is just an amazing jazz flutist. And this is a great, great album. 2 LP set. Really enjoyed this one. Nice gatefold here. Also features Ron Carter, of course, as usual. Airto is on here. Bob James is on here. Ronnie Laws plays saxophone on here. Just awesome jazz here from Hubert Laws. This one doesn't have a bunch of strings on it that bring it down. It's just CTI Records label, Van Gelder and the Dead Wax. So yeah, highly recommend this. If you see it, pick it up. If you're into jazz, you probably have already heard this by now. Just definitely recommended by me. Alright, and lastly we have an album from White Horse from 1977. This is self-titled. White Horse, this was kind of a blind buy for me. It turns out to be sort of a hard rock band. I seem to remember thinking they're out of Chicago area, but I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me on that. But this is just a very hard rock sounding, typical late 70s, early 80s sound. Didn't really enjoy this one that well, unfortunately. Maybe if you're into that sort of, more into that hard rock sound, then you would enjoy this. But for me, it just didn't do much for me. Insert with liner notes on it, but no lyrics, no photos, and it's on the capital orange label there. So yeah, that's White Horse. I can't really say much about it. I didn't like it. Just very, very commercial hard rock sound to me, and not something I typically pick up, and didn't really dig anything on here. So that's going to do it for this, and unfortunately this is not on Spotify either, so maybe you can find some samples of this on YouTube if you're really interested and want to hear it, but yeah, that one was kind of lost to the ages, I guess. So that's going to do it for this episode of The Vinyl Survivor. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I know this one turned out to be kind of a long video. Please subscribe if you're not already. As I said, the videos are going to be sort of few and far between here for a while, but I'm not going anywhere while we take care of the closing on the house and move and do a few little upgrades here and there. So thanks for watching, thanks for staying tuned, and we'll see you again next time. Enjoy your music. Cheers.